You never know what Tyson Fury you're going to get from day to day. Some days he wakes up and trashes everybody. In fact, most days he wakes up and trashes his competitors. But then occasionally and surprisingly, he'll come out with some compliments towards one of his rivals, particularly Anthony Joshua. It's most surprising when he compliments him. So in this particular interview with TalkSport, Tyson Fury not only says that he's 100% certain that he will fight Anthony Joshua, he also says he's proud of him. You know, I don't know whether Tyson Fury just changes like the weather and he's just erratic in terms of the way he feels and thinks in his head, or whether he's so used to trolling and playing games that when he actually expresses his true feelings and opinions, it catches people off guard because all of a sudden he's dropped the trolling. Or the third option is his real view on Anthony Joshua is that he is trash and he is garbage, and that in interviews like this where he says that he is proud of him, this is when he's actually acting. So who knows what's going on with Tyson Fury? But let me give you some quotes here from the Gypsy King. He says, well, he also talks about the Klitschko win and how, you know, he didn't get the credit that he felt like he deserved from the Klitschko win. I've talked about that in a previous video. But he goes on to talk about AJ. He said, the fight with AJ will happen 100%. It has to. I have 3 more fights on my current contract. If Deontay Wilder wants another rematch, he can get it. AJ can have one, and so can Ruiz. Ruiz was not a shock win for me. I was probably one of the few people in the world who picked him to win. People underestimated him because of how he looked. Well, let me just interject there. Tyson Fury didn't pick Andy Ruiz to win. Tyson Fury said he wouldn't be surprised if Ruiz won, which is exactly what I said in my pre-fight videos. I said I wouldn't be surprised if Ruiz won. It wouldn't be a shock to me. Okay, but that's not the same as picking him, because I didn't pick Ruiz. All right, so Fury, again, trying to take a little bit more credit than he actually deserves, but it is what it is. He says it wasn't a shock to me. He goes on to say, Anthony can only do his best. For the rematch, you cannot please everyone. I'm sure he would try hard. Before the first fight, he did not look right or wanted to be there, but he tried his best, and that is all you can do. The only shame is not doing it. He has changed his life and reached for the stars. I'm very proud of him as a person and as a sportsman. He says, the people who always believed in me even doubted me. And this is where he's talking about his fight with Wilder. The people who believed in me even doubted me, even my family. I am not sure my trainer thought I would win. My dad did not speak to me for 5 weeks because he thought I would get knocked out and put in a wheelchair. So those are the words of Tyson Fury. Now, look, he knows his dad far better than I do, obviously. But as far as saying that his dad wouldn't speak to him because he believed he'd be put in a wheelchair, this is just a suspicion of mine. I could be completely wrong. But I suspect that John Fury wanted to be present at Tyson Fury's next world title fight. And because he can't travel to the United States, he was against the fight more so for that reason rather than not believing his son would win. I'm sure he was concerned about whether his son would be able to get in there and perform to his best against a dangerous puncher like Wilder. But again, I suspect that him being upset with his son was more to do with his son not fighting, let's say, AJ in the UK, where he could be ringside and he could watch, because he missed out on, you know, a lot of his son's career in the past. He was obviously present for the Klitschko fight, but he missed out on a lot of his son's career in the past for, you know, obvious reasons. 5 years of his son's career. So that's personally my view. I think his dad loves his son. Sometimes when parents are involved in boxing, they can become a little bit overbearing when it comes to their son's boxing career. and that can cause tension. And maybe John wants to control Tyson's career a little too much. Maybe he wants to have a little too much sway and input over it. That's my suspicion. I could be wrong. And when I say too much, I mean too much for Tyson's own, level of comfort. Perhaps he doesn't like his dad being so hands-on or trying to be so hands-on when it comes to his career. So that's what I suspect. But yeah, as far as everything else he says about Anthony Joshua, he's proud of him and all this kind of stuff. Does he really mean this or not? I've got absolutely no idea. Absolutely no idea. It is, of course, heartening and encouraging when he says the Anthony Joshua fight will 100% happen. But next week he might say it's impossible. It's never going to happen. You just don't know from day to day, sometimes even from sentence to sentence, what Tyson Fury is going to say, in which direction he's going to go in. Now, he talks about his current contract that he's got. How many fights did he say? 4 fights left on his current contract. Well, his current contract is with ESPN. Anthony Joshua is with DAZN. ESPN, for a fight of that magnitude, would certainly put the event on pay-per-view, whereas DAZN is a subscription service. So how would they work that out? Maybe, well, we know Tyson Fury's contract is apparently exclusive. AJ, I think, is on a fight-by-fight basis with DAZN, so maybe he could go over to ESPN to fight Tyson Fury. I'm sure DAZN wouldn't like it. I'm sure Matchroom wouldn't like it. But hey, the heavyweight landscape changes all the time, and we have to find out what it looks like, let's say a year from now, 18 months from now, before we can even start contemplating how this deal could get done. So we'll see. Heavyweight division, very interesting. I mean, in the next 6 weeks, we're going to find out so much. We got Wilder against Ortiz. We got AJ against Ruiz. Both rematches. Let's see. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, people. It's happening. I'm out.